Okay. So, namaskar and good morning. So, welcome to the one-day webinar on early warning and communication, jointly organized by National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, in collaboration with Manipur State Disaster Management Authority. Myself, Raju Thapa, GMR Division, NIDM, and I will be the moderator of today's session. As we all know that the number and severity changes, and as the world population continues to increase, is increased by the population in vulnerable areas, and also by the degradation of the environment and by the expansion of areas at risk due to climate change. While improvement has been made in terms of early warning, disaster preparedness, and response, which has led to a reduction in the loss of life in single hazards, that there is an increasing systematic nature of disaster risk, that is the overlapping of events and the interplay between risk drivers such as poverty, climate change, air pollution, population growth in hazard exposed area, and also the uncontrolled urbanization, like I mentioned, and the loss of biodiversity, which also require a greater strengthening of disaster risk governance. Commitment is essential if the sustainable development goals are to be achieved and if progress is to be made on reducing the number of people affected by disaster and reducing the economic losses and damage to critical infrastructure that comes with them. UNDRR in 2019 Global Assessment Report for the disaster risk reduction highlighted that failure to understand and manage systematic losses blue framework for disaster risk reduction adopted by the member states. Nothing has revealed more clearly than the need for an all of the society focus on disaster risk reduction than the current COVID-19 pandemic, which has led beam in disaster risk management, not least in governance failure in response to and today we are joined by distinguished speakers, distinguished resource person from various fields, and in the course of our webinar, they will share their thoughts and vast knowledge with us. However, to start our program on the very outset, I would like to call upon Dr. Surya Prakash, Head GMR Division NIDM, for his inaugural address of the webinar. Over to you, sir. If you are.
Thank you, Raju, for this opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are very audible, sir. Very much audible.
Okay. Let me first welcome all the experts who have joined with us, and also all the participants as well as our team for this program. I'm sorry I'm away from Delhi today for some work, so I'm addressing it from the market area. So I wish all the best to our experts and organizing team for this program. This program is very much important for all of us, as early warning saves lives. And there is a proverb in English, stitch in time saves 9. So this early warning is actually, in terms of hill area disasters, very much required. And all our nodal agencies relevant to each of the specific disasters is working on it intensely and trying to save lives. With these words, I wish all the best for the program and hope the participants will get very much benefited from this program with the rich knowledge and experience sharing by our experts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking out some time from your busy schedule. Thank you very much. moving ahead, I will request Mr. Ranjit Kumar Singh, Relief and Disaster Management, Government of Manipur, to say a few words to encourage our participants. Over to you, sir.
I, on behalf of the audible, my voice.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Yes, sir, you are audible.
I, on behalf of the Relief Disaster Management Government of Manipur, welcome all the participants for this program. And from disaster management point of view, Sarsuya also expressed that the early water system communication is a vital part of the disaster management just before disaster and during disaster also. And we have set up a good communication system, and with the input from the weather forecast system at all India level, we have been using particularly in the rainy seasons. And thank you for organizing such kind of meeting. And I hope all the participants will benefited out of this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And for the participants, your attendance is automatically recorded in this Cisco WebEx. Please raise your question in the question answer chat window. After each presentation made by the presenter, we will have the question answer session followed just after the presentation. And also, the feedback link will be shared at the end of the webinar. So to start with our first technical, we know India's increasing population and extensive unscientific construction, mushrooming all over, including the multi-story luxury apartment, huge factory building, gigantic malls, and construction in vulnerable areas. It makes India a very high risk. In fact, the entire Himalayan belt is considered prone to great earthquake of magnitude exceeding 5. And in a relevant short span of about 50 years, 4 such earthquake has occurred. You can take the example of Shillong, 80 around 1.7 has struck, the Kangra 1905, or the Bihar Nepal earthquake where 1950 magnitude 8.6. So also the scientific publication has also warned of the livelihood of the occurrence of very severe earthquake in Himalayan region, which adversely affect the living of like several million of people in India. To enlighten us in more detail, we have with us the distinguished Professor Durgesh C. Rai, he's from Professor in Department of Civil Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. Dr. Durgesh Rai, who will be talking about the seismic vulnerability of buildings in northeastern Himalayan region, a lesson to be learned from experience of 2016 Imphal and 2011 Sikkim earthquake. Dr. Durgesh Rai is a professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. Prior to joining IIT Kanpur, he was a research fellow at University of Michigan and on the faculty of the Department of Earthquake Engineering at IIT Roorkee from 1997 to 2001. His research interests are in the design and behavior of structure under earthquake loads, experimental investigation, supplemental damping, seismic rehabilitation, and he has published over 140 peer-reviewed papers in journals and conferences in the area of structural and earthquake engineering. He has also received the 2000 Saha Family Innovation Prize from the Earthquake Research Institute, USA, and the Young Engineer Award from the He has also been elected as the Fellow of Indian National Engineer 2010. So with these words, I am very humbled to call upon and pass on the stage to Durgesh Rai, sir. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are muted. Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Thapa, for introduction, and good morning to all the participants. And this morning, as Mr. Thapa has pointed out, we will look into the seismic vulnerability of buildings in northeastern Himalayas, especially experience that we've learned in the last two earthquakes that happened in the last decade. And these earthquakes have been a magnitude about less than 7, greater than 6.5, so they can be classified as a moderate earthquake, but they have exposed the vulnerability of the region, and that make us to think about that, what kind of constructions and what kind of engineering and building stock that we are creating in that area, and that would be a problem for the future. So as has been rightly pointed out, that Himalaya is one of the most active region in the world, and as you can see that entire Himalayan, we have more than 4 earthquakes of magnitude greater than 8 in last 100 years, which is much higher than any tectonic or seismogenic region in the world. So starting from 1905 Kangla earthquake, 1934 Bihar, Nepal, 1890, and 1950 Assam earthquake. But if you look at the northeast region, and that our code has also identified them as in zone 5 and adjoining areas in zone 4. So entire Himalayan region and in northeast especially is in zone 5 and zone 4. And though these earthquakes, the recent has been, as I said, between 6 and 7, they are moderate size, and they have caused the intensity less than 7 or 8. You see, nowhere we have reached 8, and there have been 6 and 7. And the buildings that we build should be able to perform to intensity 10. So life safety performance, meaning is they must not collapse during earthquake. And this gives you an idea that what we expect from buildings if they are code compliant. So, and there is a famous statement made by 2 earthquake engineers. It says that the earthquakes expose even the minutest mistake made in the design and construction, and this is especially true in case of earthquakes. So the building may be okay before the earthquake, but if you have made even a smaller mistake in the design and construction, they get exposed during earthquake. And these are the 2 papers that we wrote in Current Science, highlighting some of our experience and observations of the building stock and their performance in these 2 areas. If you look at the 2011 Sikkim earthquake, it was only magnitude 6.9, and the earthquake was centered in the Nepal Sikkim border. And the Gangtok, which is about 68 kilometers, received intensity shaking of shits. And in the northern regions here, the maximum intensity was about 7. So looking at just the intensity map, one could say that any new buildings which were constructed, should be able to overcome or resist this kind of a shaking without any kind of damage. Despite that, there were 112 deaths and in the Sikkim alone, and a lot of property loss and damages going about to 1 lakh crore. There were 2 ground motions which were recorded, that will also give you an idea that what was the level of seismic shaking in that region. There is a ground motion recorded at Gangtok, which has the peak ground acceleration only of 0.15 G, and Siliguri also the maximum was 0.2 G. So these are the accelerations, and if we plot this response spectrum, which is just to measure the engineers use to know that what is the demand that this ground motion is going to put on the structures. And as you can see that they are well within what was the code was expecting for zone 4 and also for zone 5. So though the Sikkim is classified in zone 4, you can see for the most of the building range. So this period representing the building's natural period, we are well within the code assumed hazard. However, in some short period, you can see the peaks, but that is what normally happens, and that's not something with the code's other safety provisions will take care of these things. So in any way, these ground motions were not something much greater than the code assumed design earthquake for the region. However, you see that the bad siting being next to the river, this whole settlement here has been wiped out in some sense because of the rock slide. In the buildings, when constructed with open ground stories, actually pancaked. So you can see here one story disappeared. Here are 2 stories that disappeared. This is about 7 to 9 story building, 2 basements, and the 2 stories gone. And these are in Gangtok, in Chungthang. Very, very small acceleration level in these regions. Buildings damaged, and then they twist and deformed, and then hit the building, which are very adjacent to it, caused the damage, though this building was okay. Even newly constructed building which had not following the code was just simply collapsed. Even it was not even occupied. Even the government buildings did not do very well. This is the Secretariat building in Tasling area. It was constructed in 1979 when the Sikkim became the state of Union of India. And so this was the reinforced concrete structures. However, the infill material they used here is the hollow concrete block, and that was considered as a novelty and a strong, architectural feature of use of the hollow concrete block as a partition walls. Even that various joints, this lapping, which is even the violation of your 19th, the code at the time. Mild steel bar is also used in some places, as you can see here. Poor quality of concrete. However, there is also other problems that the beams are offset, but majority of the damage that you see was in the infills, which were hollow concrete block of poor strength. And this led to then they decided that the damage was primarily due to the bad siting, and therefore they wanted to build a new secretariat at a different site. Since they could not find another site, then they decided later that let's dismantle that structure. And this was the structure was dismantled. While I think is the damages which were there were quite repairable and retrofit, and this structure could have been saved. But if you look at the buildings which are constructed just next to it, which was under construction at the time of this 2011 earthquake, this NICEE, and the kind of, the very thin partition walls, nothing, in fact, it had collapsed and it was again rebuilt before we visited the site. And it's showing you that this is also not following the code. All the stirrups, if you may have an engineers, if you saw, they will say, well, there is no confinement of the columns near the ends. The stirrups are not properly placed, less than 90-degree hooks. And this is the same feature that you see in many the buildings. This is government quarter where you can see that a very loose concrete here, very thin stirrups, and very small columns, not be able to provide enough strength that is expected in such high seismic regions. And such kind of things have been seen in previous earthquakes also. And And it was kind of quite shocking to see such things happening in the regions of high seismicity. This is the government building. Again, this is the infill wall has completely collapsed. And the other, these very poor strength concrete blocks, which are also used as infill material, have also not done well. So this is a very serious problem that you can have a RC frame, but you have no idea that what would be the best infill material. And I think is this building in Lachung shows all the various possibilities of infills that are being used in this region. If you, at least the owner has an idea that the base shear would be maximum or the demand will be maximum at the ground. So he uses the in situ concrete. So these are like a shear wall. And as you go up, the story shears decrease. So then here he's using a concrete block, solid concrete blocks. Now this is a half brick thick wall, meaning is this the about 120 mm thick wall, and then goes to the brick on edge, which is definitely not recommended. So this is something like 60 mm wall, and at the top then he puts the timber wall, which is the representative of the local architecture. So fortunately this building has no damages and came out well, but that is not the story for many. So you have buildings in which people have used very small columns, but when they get damaged, they have no problem in actually extending the size of the columns or putting the larger thickness of the walls. So I think this could have been done even at the time of construction and save the misery of retrofitting. And many examples of the traditional structures have performed extremely well. For example, the timber frame structures, which are Shing-Khim or Ikra constructions, but one or two story buildings have performed extremely well. In fact, well-constructed reinforced concrete buildings with a suitable use of infills, like in the Tasi Namagyal Academy at Gangtok, and in fact in the entire campus, which is about 60 to 70-year-old buildings, and we could not find even a single damage or crack. So these show some good examples that how the building constructed with care and proper engineering can perform extremely well during earthquake. Now, in 2016, the 4th January, there is an earthquake in Imphal, which is magnitude 6.7. The epicenter was about 30 kilometers west of Imphal. However, this earthquake was deep-seated, so about 55 kilometers. Therefore, the felt area was quite large. However, the intensity was again between 6 and 7. And we think that it was more closer to 6. Despite that, about 13 people died, 200 people injured, but there were a lot of damages to these structures, as we shall see here. The Manipur is of course, you have the faults running on the Myanmar and India border, as well as this Kopali fault, which has been most active. In fact, the 2016 event was supposed to be an extension of this fault. However, in 1869, we had a magnitude 7.5, which is the Kachar earthquake on the same fault. And in this region, the largest earthquake had been in 1946, magnitude 8, but that's pretty much in the Myanmar region for Sagong fault. However, these faults are not that active, and the maximum earthquake that we have seen is about magnitude 7.3 in 1988. But the Manipur state is surrounded by these fault lines, which are at a distance of about 100 to 200 kilometers from the Imphal, but sometimes very close. They run through the state. So if you see that there has been a lot of earthquake of magnitude 6, 7, and 8, about 19 earthquakes greater than magnitude 6 within the 250 kilometer radius. So the point is that, and that is why this region features in the zone 5, the most high seismic region in our code. And the performance of the building, as I said, in the intensity is 6 or 7 at the most. Nothing should happen to the properly built reinforced concrete building. And this is the famous Ima Cathal complex in the city, which is the women's market. And as you can see that the market is not in the 2 buildings that you see. In fact, the 3rd building behind it, but the people are on the street. And this is about 10 days after that earthquake. And this was inaugurated in 2010. This is a 2-story reinforced concrete building. And this is what is the status of the building inside, because these columns are not properly designed. You can see the stirrups are very far spaced, and what we refer is the plastic hinging. So this is the classic failure that in every textbook, you know, I mentioned that if the building is not designed for earthquake, this is how they're going to fail. And here is the interstate bus terminal, which was under construction, as you can see. And this is, again, this is simple columns and very light roof structure on top. Just here also, you can see that the columns were badly damaged. And in fact, 3 months later, they were all being repaired. So here is the retrofitting of these damaged columns. And even before that, the services can be put to use. Here is another example. These are not only the large buildings, but here is a very small building, which is 3-story and 6 apartments and reinforced concrete masonry Imphal building for the residences of the coaches in the Sports Authority of India complex in Imphal. And you can see that the damages to the masonry, but these are not just only from the outside. If you walk inside, you can see that the walls have been badly disintegrated. Even the west slab of the stairs has fallen on the stairs. So you can see that if you're inside the building, in fact, the building was occupied. And as the people are trying to escape out from the stairs, you would have the concrete falling on them. So it was a very sad state of affairs. 4 months later, the building was so badly damaged that it was demolished. And now if you see that the reinforcement in these columns, small columns, is extremely high. It's too large. So the designer thinking is just putting too much of a steel in the column will ensure an earthquake resistance. But it is reinforced concrete, meaning is there has to be some concrete which need to be reinforced. Looking at this column, one may think that it is the concrete that is reinforcing the steel. So it's the other way around. And despite spending money more on the steel, etc., the performance of the structure was well below the expectations, and in fact so bad that it had to be dismantled. And such was the state of affairs of many buildings where proper attention was not paid, and even the damages to the infill masonry. Remember that this is very small earthquake, shaking intensity 6 or 7 at the most. And there were some failures of the private buildings as well, where the columns have given way because they're not detailed according to the earthquake. Infills, configuration problem, and many such things which could be easily avoided. And of course, once again, the performance of the traditional 1-2-story type timber frame buildings, even in the areas where there were greater shaking, performed extremely satisfactory. I think is there are, and this is not the first time. In fact, many has in the past also this has been recognized that the timber frame and the masonry will perform much better during earthquake. This is an example of such a building which the German researchers wanted to have at their laboratory in Nagar in Himachal Pradesh. And they hired an architect from New York to design their building. And he visited and he found that in 1905, similar earthquake, the buildings which the British have built have actually collapsed, while the natives, which were using this timber frame, actually has performed much better. And therefore, for this research facility, he designed the building with the timber frame and the masonry infill. And this is the finished building. And in the first magazine of this center, it says that the method of construction in that area is known as Dhazi Diwar, which was proved to be the best, if not even the only method of construction that registered earthquake, which used to be quite frequent in this region. Most of the government buildings in Dharamsala, for instance, are built in this style, that is after the earthquake, which have proved to be the best. It is interesting that in its principle, this mode of building rather resembles the steel structures of modern skyscrapers, with the difference, of course, that wooden beams are used instead of steel girders. Coming from the New York, he is comparing this grid work as the, just replacing the grid work by timber than the steel girders. Thus, the wisdom of the people in its own way found the best solution how to give the most binding strength and rigidity with the local materials available. And this is the picture taken in 2009. And during this intervening period, I'm sure this structure has also undergone not a major earthquake, but definitely many smaller shaking. This picture is the building in Durham in the United Kingdom. And as again, you can see this is the timber frame and then infill masonry. And this Durham used to be a town of coal mining, so there used to be a lot of blast. Earthquakes are not very frequent in England, but the blasts were causing the ground shaking. And so the people, some about 200 years ago, built the buildings using the timber frame and the masonry laced timber frame structures, and they are still in service. So the idea is very simple, that if we can put the masonry, if you're using it in small panels, so they reduce the span between the supports, and the most important thing is that it enhances its out-of-plane stability so the masonry does not fall out. And even thin-walled masonry can be used. So this is another term that we use, is that we are confining the masonry in small panels created by an embedded gridwork of timber. And there are many examples that you can find worldwide which has been earthquake prone. And modern variations like in Chile, in Latin America, is that instead of using the timber, they use the reinforced concrete element. But the idea is that first you raise the wall and then you pour the concrete. So in that way, you create a very good bond between this, and this member is able to take care of the tension, and this wall acts like a shear wall, and the performance has been much better. In fact, in 1960s, when there was a big earthquake in Chile, they passed the law that all the buildings has to be constructed using this technique, and this law was religiously followed. And then there was a big earthquake in 2010. Not even any such buildings actually collapsed, and the casualties were 4. I mean, in just a few, not even in 2 digits. So a good earthquake resistance or safety for the society can be achieved if we build our structures according to the codes and according to the typology, which have shown a better performance in the past. And one of the most important thing is that it does not require any sophisticated technology as we have in RC frames. And RC frames require that beam column joints need to be very properly detailed, and a lot of which, as you can see, that it's not possible, to ensure even when people are not aware of the intricacies of this design. And one of the large-scale experiments of this was done at the IT Gandhinagar new campus, where all the hostel buildings, which are 4 stories, and the housing for faculty and staff was done in the reinforced, in this confined masonry. And so you have a tie column, tie elements, and then they're using the fly ash bricks because this is the requirement, because they're being close to the thermal power plant. They're not supposed to use the clay bricks. And these are the buildings which are the finished. And so this is built upon the traditional construction. It has very small, no intricate technology, concrete technology, and it has shown very good earthquake resistance. In the past, earthquake performed satisfactorily, and it is good for low-rise buildings. I mean, something like 3 to 4 story buildings can be built very easily. In fact, in Mexico City, the new codes on the confined masonry allows the buildings to any height. But again, that depends upon the compressive strength of the bricks. And as I said, that if you don't have a very good clay, you can still make using the local materials and improving the better quality of the bricks. And using this technology, earthquake-resistant construction is possible. In fact, we held a one-day seminar on this after 4 months after that earthquake. This National Information Center of Earthquake Engineering, which is at IIT Kanpur, and we had my colleagues to educate people about this construction technique. About 150 professionals participated. This was done in collaboration with PWD, mostly PWD engineers and other architects and engineers in the area. However, we need more such awareness and training there. But most important is some demonstration projects, something like that we have done at IT Gandhinagar, and this should be showcased and it should be done in that area so that people can learn and at least build their own structures using this. We have taken out many publications of from NICEE and on confined masonry. These are the 2 documents which are mostly for the design professionals. And then we also have very simple pictorial description of this confined masonry, how to build. This is for the masons, and this is available in English and Hindi. This typology also features in National Building Code, so you can use it, because it's part of the NBC. Now, BIS code already has been approved on confined masonry, and which will get published very soon. So, in coming back to the overall problem of seismic risk, and that is what we are addressing, that how can we reduce the seismic risk in the more vulnerable areas. We cannot do anything about the hazard. If you happen to be located close to this tectonic faults, which has been active, we're going to see future earthquakes. And we definitely need the built environment, so the exposure is not going to get reduced. And the only thing that we can control is about the vulnerability. So the risk is actually the product. In simple terms, we can understand it's a product of hazard, exposure, and vulnerability. And since we cannot do very much about the first 2 items, our focus should be on building the structures which are not vulnerable. So the fragility of structures need to be controlled. So the disaster is unmitigated risk. So the risk is always there, but we need to control the risk so the disaster does not happen. And that can be done by reducing the infrastructural vulnerability. Now, Himalayan region, as we know, is capable of large to great earthquakes, as we've seen in the past. And in my view, they have risen to unacceptable levels, as evidenced in the recent earthquake, and it can lead to more larger scale disaster if not mitigated. And this is the short shot of reducing the effect of the disasters. So if there is going to be an earthquake, we need to build an environment so that we can be able to come out with the minimum cost. So these are two pictures showing us that we need to be a little bit more careful and cannot build without the technological input. And we need to adopt the technology and change our ways so that we can be in tune with the risk that or the hazard which are specific to the region. So in summary, the earthquakes need not be deadly and destructive. We cannot stop them, but we can endure them if we implement the seismic design practice. We can have the earthquake resistant friendly architecture, simple building, simple things, quality building materials, seismic design and detailing. And as I said, for economical earthquake construction, for the most of residential houses which are low rise, we can adopt the confined masonry typology. And it's very important that all stakeholders, builders, and the regulators, they should all be aware of this, and then it should be implemented. So implementation is only the key. And this brings to my last slide. Sometimes I saw that there was a cartoon in our local newspaper and says that there was an earthquake in Delhi, and it was making a comment that what should we do? Should we stay indoors or should go outdoors? I think if you have earthquake resistant building, you don't have to worry about it. You can still stay indoors. And whether it is a corona pandemic or earthquake or any other disaster, you need to have safe homes. Safe homes not only against the man-made disasters, but also the natural hazards. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. So sir, we will take some questions, sir, that has been raised by our participant, just to follow the presentation. So, sir, the first question is from Sir Bharat Kumar. His question is, sir, how can help to people nowadays? They're like, since now is the time for mobile technology. Like, how can the mobile technology play a role in spreading the news or in spreading the information, or regarding earthquake warning and awareness?
So the earthquake warning, there are two things is, since I say these areas that are there, they're very close, the earthquakes are just next door. So warning is that if I'm away, first the earthquake should happen, even if I have a sensor, it tells me that earthquake is happening, and I get very small time, So earthquake waves travel about 5 kilometers per second. Let's say the earthquake is happening at 50 kilometers away. Now, at the most, it will be there in 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds, first to recognize that it is an earthquake, it takes about, these days, 3 to 5 seconds for the computer to even process that it is an earthquake. And then communicating it. And then imagine if you're asleep and the earthquake strikes. Do you have a response time, to get out? So this is the, I would say, supplementary idea when you have a larger network, etc., where you can communicate. You can stop your fast-running trains. You can stop your nuclear power plants and other dams, etc., because you know that there could have been some damage. So there will be a little bit of a lead time if you're away from the source or epicenter. But if you're very close, such things have not been very helpful, and no society has been able to protect it from earthquake because of a warning. So this is something that we need to experiment with. with our resources, but I think it's easier for us to do. Mobiles can use to know the earthquake, so if you have a mobile, there is accelerometer inside. There are a lot of apps available which can let you know when the earthquake is happening. But that is only when you are awake. That's only when you are conveniently placed and you can use that information.
Yes, sir. Rightly mentioned, sir. And sir, there is one more question from Satish. His question is, sir, how to assess, evaluate the comprehensive strength for a retrofit column, and how effectively it will perform in the next massive event. His question is that safe idea to go for retrofitting if load bearing structure like column and beam got ruptured during an event?
So retrofitting is far more complex. I mean, we have taken out a code 15988, which describes you the procedure of evaluating the existing strength and then determining what is the extra that you need to do. So a lot of people do just ad hoc, strengthening, not knowing that what they're doing is actually beneficial in the end. And therefore, as said, refer to the available literature and the code, and hire some knowledgeable engineer if you want to embark on this retrofitting. However, my advice first is that if you build a new building, they are not as per the codes, then you're going to retrofit them later. So why? So as I said, retrofitting is far more complex and involved procedure compared to the building, right at the first instance itself. So I think there is no easy solution for retrofitting. It varies from a building to building, and therefore it requires a little bit more engineering input before such decision can be made.
Yes, sir. And sir, one more question, sir. So the question is regarding retrofitting only, sir. He's asking, sir, while retrofitting the safety of the construction engineers is highly questionable as compared to the construction. So what are the safety measures they generally follow during this retrofitting load-bearing structure, where risk of life is very high as compared to construction of new buildings?
Question is that can we repeat that?
Yes, sir. Basically, he wants to ask, sir, during retrofitting, the risk of engineers is comparatively higher in comparison to building a new building. So, what are the safety precautions you will suggest if they have to take any?
That's right. I think that's a very valid question because building is already damaged or may not be damaged, and then you're going to interfere with the already the structural elements that are present. So if you damage them, quite possible that the structure can collapse, under its own weight. So what you need to do is to prop, and then you do incremental, and ensure that even if you have removing the material around it, you're not able to. Still the building is properly supported. So they said that. You need to proper soaring, and then only you can intervene into the existing elements. So
yes,
as I said, there is one unique solution, and I think it varies from case to case.
Yes, sir. And I will take the last question, sir. You have partially answered this question also, sir. The question is, can you cite some example of countries who are doing good work towards earthquake resistance, which can be also implemented by India to improve our earthquake resistance? So you have cited the example of Chile, sir. Any other?
I think the Chile is one of the good example. All Latin America, Peru and Mexico, when they have distinguished, they have seen that there are two kinds of structures broadly. One, which are, engineers, which can be done right. But then there are a lot of buildings which are owners or the small scale residential buildings, and for which we need to have a typology, something which is which is earthquake resistant, but can easily done without much of the intricacies of this, the material. So in that sense, this confined masonry have proven, the performance, and this can be adopted. And I think it's not something new. I mean, if you look back in our own country, how things have evolved somehow with the coming of the, the British and the kind of the masonry that got transformed in our country, because the British never had an earthquake, back in their native land. And I would presume that, they thought to have create the same kind of, living and same kind of houses. They built the same way, and we also copied them, knowing that this is not something, this is good for earthquake. And this has been shown in 1897 Assam earthquake that led to Assam type houses, which also built many structures in Assam type. Same thing happened in Quetta in 1934, when then the reinforced masonry was used. Quetta bond was developed, so you can put the reinforcement into the masonry. Somehow we forgot about it. In fact, in England, they constructed their own bunkers during Second World War using the Quetta bond, which was developed in India after the Quetta earthquake. And this bunkers in Quetta bond proved very effective against the bombings by the Germans in England. So they are not only earthquake resistant, they are resistant against any kind of impact load. And somehow we're not been able to popularize or bring into the mainstream. And if we do that, I'm sure that a large number of problems actually can be taken care of for majority of the buildings. So we will not see the examples like we see the earthquake.
Yes, sir. And sir, there is last one question, sir. He's saying, sir, just you have mentioned in your presentation about this building code. So he's asking, sir, any reference material where he can look for that, sir, to have it.
Us at the www.nicee.org or NICEE at iitk.ac.in. That website, and you send us an email, and we will send you all the materials that we have. There's a lot of material available on site, online, and if you want any published printed material, that we will send you for free.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sparing your precious time and sharing your vast knowledge and experience, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So now moving ahead with our next presentation. So we know that ham radio has always been the front wherever a disaster strikes, be it the flood, a cyclone, an earthquake, or whatever, every kind of natural or man-made situation. With the capability of modern equipment to operate from very low batteries, the reliance on main power is not there. And so ham and identically equipped to work out in the field where basic do not exist. Indian ham has always relied round in every possible emergency, and their effort has always been lauded. Radio is internationally accepted as the main means of emergency communication and has provided and has proved it is invaluable in such situation. To share the practical experience of use of ham radio in disaster management, we have with us Mr. Ambrish Nag Biswas, as his Secretary, West Bengal Radio Club and Chairman, Indian Academy of Communication and Disaster Management. They have been working in the field of ham radio for over 3 decades, and they have been awarded several national and international awards and recognition, such as the recently AR Newsline International Newsmaker of the Year 2019 that was provided by the USA. And they have also received several national awards where recognizing their efforts and their contribution towards disaster management. And they have also worked more than 500 media coverages, both national and international. So we have with us Nag Biswas, sir. He will share his practical experience about the ham radio. With these words, I would like to pass on the stage to you, sir. Sir, you are muted. Just 1 second. We have to unmute. I think. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Now you are audible. Okay.
Okay. First of all, good morning, everyone, all dignitaries and participants. Thanks to NIDM for organizing this nice webinar. I would like to thank Mr. Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal sir, Professor Dr. Surya Prakash sir, Mr. Raju Thapa sir, Dr. Harjit Kaur, and everybody in this NIDM for giving me this golden opportunity today. We are going to talk about role of amateur radio in field. As you all know, what ham radio is all about, still I will brief for the new one. Ham radio or amateur radio is a self-training hobby, nothing else, without short any pecuniary interest. We can establish worldwide communication even after any natural breakdown through radio. Let us start with today's presentation. Disaster mock drill is very important thing. Changes the slide, sir. Disaster mock drill, as we all know, mock drill are the various disaster organized order to see how are the various disaster management department are prepared for any disaster. It is the testing of the efficacy of disaster management plan. Next slide, sir. We have attended more than 20 mock drill. We are grateful to our government of India, government of State Bank, West Bengal, and so many state government, Andhra Pradesh government, etc., and different defense organization, Indian Army, Coast Guard, Indian Air Force, to give us this such opportunity to join mock drill with them. Here is some picture. Where is no infrastructure? Just change the slide, sir. Yes, there's picture where no infrastructure available in a field in just in front of Calcutta Fort William. There is no infrastructure, no bamboo, no electricity. We are just installed in a playground, just the brigade parade ground. We are installed one radio station with a folding chair. And just behind you are looking the Royal Calcutta Turf Club racecourse ground, the green shade. Next, sir. Here is a picture. We are attending some mock drill with our great Indian Army. We are grateful to the Indian Army give us such opportunity. This is the first ham radio club in India that we are participating in that golden mock drill with Indian Army. Sir. This is another mock drill with our beloved NDRF. We are always working with NDRF in so many disaster and so many mock drills. This is the mock drill. And you just look the right-hand side picture is the Second World War Jeep. We have a tie-up with the one organization off-roaders. When disaster appears, the road is blocked. We are not able to move at the disaster spot. This is the off-roader Jeep. We can dismantle and maintain again within 20 minutes. This Jeep, the Second World War Jeep. We have the 10 number of this kind of Jeep. This provided by the off-roaders. This is another situation on a mock drill where no internet is available. One official told us he have to send one picture. He have mobile phones, so many connection, but there is no internet. How he sent this picture to his upper authority? We have sent this picture via our VHF radio. This is the picture. And there is another picture where we are giving a demonstration of amateur radio global connection with our Indian Army. Next, sir. Disaster is not only a sudden accident or a natural calamity cause a great damage. We all are in a disastrous phase now. The COVID-19 pandemic also created an unwanted disastrous situation everywhere. It's been a long time that we are providing our communication support during disaster. Next, sir. We have successful established communication support during Nepal earthquake, Cyclone Hudhud, Cyclone Ayla. I am just telling you on information. While Ayla is happened at that time, our beloved NDRF is not formed. After that, NDRF is formed. The Ayla happened in the West Bengal, North and South 24 Parganas. We have successfully participated in this Ayla cyclone. Cyclone Imphal, Cyclone Buildi, Cyclone Foni, so on. So many cyclones we are worked. This is the picture in Andhra Pradesh Hudhud, where we are mount a HF antenna in a car, where it is Padmanavan police station, where all police communication is failed. We have just established base radio station, all police station, and we have this mobile car. It is our own car. We are installed an HF radio in that car. Next, sir. This is another control room at Hudhud, Andhra Pradesh. Srikakulam, Padmanavan, so many places. This is the beautiful picture. When any alarm reached to our club station that cyclone is coming, Reiki, we have to Reiki that place. We have reached there before and Reiki. There is a picture where before cyclone, we have Reiki the place with our Team West Bengal Radio Club. And we have tested our radio signal from different places. This is the Sundarban area. This is another Reiki. We are going remote area of just a border area of Indo-Bangladesh border area with our Team West Bengal Radio Club, where internet is not available, no electricity. We are going with our Team West Bengal Radio Club before the cyclone. This is a great moment. The Team West Bengal Radio Club reached with our team at Kathmandu Indian Embassy. We are called by our beloved NDMA from Delhi. We immediately pack up our radio station and go with the Indian Air Force flight and reach there and install our radio station. And proud to say you, sir, we are the first team from India established radio communication from Nepal Indian Embassy, from India and Nepal communication. We have established first radio communication from Nepal. We're proud to say, sir. Next, sir. This is the pride moment. Some Air Force commando in Kathmandu Embassy. We are very happy to share this picture with you when we are returning from Kathmandu to India. This is some picture after heat of the cyclone of different places. We are sharing you. We are just discussing with the administration what to do. We are always cooperating with the administration. We are installed radio station in affected area and communicate with the administration, because administration have the whole infrastructure. Police has the wireless, fire brigade has wireless, NDRF has the wireless, but there is the international rules. NDRF cannot be communicate with the police because there is separate spectrum. With the Team Ham Radio, West Bengal Radio Club, and other Ham Radio organization move at the disaster situation 0 point and install radio station in NDRF base station area, police station, video, and so many affected area, and communicate through the ham radio because we have the same spectrum and we are communicate with the administration at the time of disaster, pre-disaster and post-disaster also. Next, sir. This is the great issue, sir. We are just sharing you one information. You know, the radio is the main thing that fishermen using in deep sea. And Indian defense is called fisherman is the eye of safety. फिर जो कोई भी बाहर से इंडिया में अटैक करेगा, कोई भी आएगा तो फिशरमैन लोगों को फर्स्ट इन्फॉर्म करेगा, आता है, नजर में आता है, वो जो इन्फॉर्म कर देता है इमीडिएटली डिफेंस को। ये तो बहुत बड़ा बात है। लेकिन वो लोग का सेफ्टी के लिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम अराइज हो रहा है। क्या प्रॉब्लम? जब वो लोग डीप सी में जाते हैं तो दे आर नॉट एबल टू लिसन एनी वेदर अराउंड। हम लोग कभी कभी देखे हैं कि कोई भी साइक्लोन आया, वो लोग चला गया, डिस्प्लेस हो गया, मर गया, तो यू आर जस्ट सर्वे। Why they are not returning to getting alarm after when they are getting alarm in All India Radio? They told they are not getting any alarm from All India Radio. It is very suspicious for us. What? They are not getting. They are told us, they are informed us, they are getting some person is talking in that frequency. What? We are moved at the deep sea with their trawler and just record that what an unfortunate thing is going on. Some people who are occupied the All India Radio spectrum and they are using the nonsense work. We are immediately inform our beloved government and they take action, they are arrested. You may search in Google that illegal radio station found in Gandhinagar Island. This is our achievement. We have found, we have traced. After that, the fishermen getting alarm. After that, we are going with the Indian Coast Guard in deep sea. This is the picture in deep sea with Indian Coast Guard. Where are we measuring? I am measuring the frequency where occupied by the All India Radio and occupied by the other people. They are any interference in the All India Radio frequency. Indeed, this team, there is All India Radio, BSNL, so many disaster people is there in this ship. Is the ship provided by the government of India, Indian Coast Guard. Next, sir. This is the device. Next, sir. Communication support is a mobile shadow zone during election. During the election, we have established our communication support at various mobile shadow zones. Election is not the disaster, but it is the very important thing for India. When election appeared, we wrote to our Honorable Chief Election Commission, Sir, how some of our areas booth presiding officer communicate with their district magistrate. There is no mobile phone. How it possible, sir? After that, then teams came from Delhi, their survey. It is observed that no communication. Next slide, sir. No communication found in remote area. I am not telling about the border area. That is, in border area, there is some jammer is used by the authority because the safety of our country. I am not telling about that area. I am telling where the shopping mall is established, where so many marketplaces. From there, the mobile phone is not allowed. Who are listening, not getting your tower, who are listening my voice in this webinar, in your state, you may observe that some of your area that is mobile phone is not working. If you survey, we survey in our West Bengal that we found so many areas there is no mobile network. After that, the history. With the past, next slide, please, sir. with the first organization in India, work and own is the logo of our beloved Chief Election Commission in our uniform. And with the team, West Bengal Radio Club provided excellent communication support from the remote zone 74 areas, remote area where no mobile communication, no electricity, no internet. We established our communication successfully to smooth the election machineries, and we just convey the message from booth level to district magistrate level. We are not carrying any political news. Amateur radio operator never carried any political message. This is any commercial message. This is, and we work everything with the proper permission from Government of India, Ministry of Communication also. Next slide, sir. This is some picture. The team West Bengal Radio Club bound their antenna in a condemned tower, and the team is moving different place. We are very much proud to announce you that the young students, school students, college students, so many students, housewives, they are working together in this team, and so many Indian club are working like this. Next, sir. This is some picture of our team West Bengal Radio Club. You just look, just one handheld is working with a handheld set with external antenna, because power is the very important thing here. Electricity is not available. We are using our handheld set with the external antenna in a booth, remote area booth in Sundarban area. Next, sir. Reunited missing person. This is the something which we do in order to make ourselves satisfied. It is the biggest blessing and achievement if one can help another person to get back his or her family mates. We believe the HAM stand for help always mankind. एक आपको एग्जाम्पल देना चाहते हैं। जब गंगासागर मेला में हम लोग गए थे, तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट को, डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो मेडिकल हेल्थ ऑफिसर, ही टोल्ड टू द डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट, सर, ham radio is working excellent at the time of Gangasagar Mela, but when the Mela is closed, so many missing people in different hospitals, sir. They are admitted 10 years, 15 years, and we are not able to reunite it with their family, sir. How to solve? And district magistrate immediately gave us the responsibility, and they told us, you have to do this. Yes, sir. We are proud to say you that we are reunited, that all missing persons from the South 24 Parganas who are missing more than 15 years, 20 years, 26 years. And till our record is that we are reunited on family after 77 years from Tripura to Calcutta is the history. And we also reunited on man from Orissa to Calcutta. We found that person in a railway station, and we just asked him, is a mental problem, and inform you that you just go through our social media, Facebook, our club page, or my personal page. You look, so many reunited. Every day we are reunited the missing people. The public, our friend, beloved friend, is insulted us. We are very much happy to say you that, sir, who know, जिसी का अंदर में पेन है, जिसका अपना आदमी खो जाता है, वही केवल उसका पेन जानता है। हम लोग को पेन को रियलाइज करके वो आदमी लोगों को रियूनाइटेड करता है, वो करता भी रहेगा, वो हमारा काम हम लोग करते भी रहेगा। आप लोग हम लोग को मदद करिए, हम लोग इस काम देश को आदमी के लिए करते ही रहेगा। नेक्स्ट साइड प्लीज सर। जस्ट आप लोग जो लड़की को पिक्चर देखे थे, वो सब पिक्चर अभी दिया है लॉकडाउन का टाइम में, जो लोग हम रियूनाइटेड किया, जिस टाइम में कोई आदमी लोग रास्ता में नहीं है, गाड़ी नहीं मिलते थे, उस टाइम को बात आप लोग को किया है। राउंड द ईयर हम लोग करते हैं चीज। अभी जो पिक्चर आप देख रहे हैं, दिस इज द यूनिक पिक्चर। लॉकडाउन का पीरियड में जब सब स्टेट टू स्टेट इंटर स्टेट ट्रांसफर बंद हो गया, 51 कैंसर पेशेंट 51 cancer patient in Chennai, they are not able to return in West Bengal. We have get that information from another source. We are immediately take action. Our ham radio people organize a rally, and we came back this family to their destination. This is the incident. Next, sir. And this is the one sister. Just I'm give you one sample. After 42 years, we are reunited. One sister and means nurse and hospital nurse reunited with with her family after 42 years from Bangladesh. We are not reunited in India only. We are reunited from India to other country also, Bangladesh, Nepal, so on. And there is another problem. One lady came from England at the lockdown time, facing some another problem. Disaster is different type of disaster appear. He is a pet dog. At that time, plane authority is not allowed to carry that pet dog. You know the rules of the London. There is a strict rules. Sorry. And she called us and we solved that problem. And the lady is very much happy. This is the disaster. Disaster is a various type of disaster. We are just sharing with you. We are just dealing serious type of disaster. Next slide, sir. We are not only this, we are also into the satellite communication and other R&D. We are also extend our communication support during Gangasagar Mela year after year. We are happy to provide emergency medicine support during this entire lockdown period. This is the picture. We are just trained the school college student how to communicate with ISS. They are talking with a handheld set. Just look right hand side, top right hand side picture. And the below picture is the Gangasagar Mela. You know, each year at Makar Sankranti, this festival is held. We are reunited. It's a mini Bharat. It's called the mini Bharat. You can't imagine when he found one lady, asked her, "What's your husband name?" He is not telling us his husband name because some spiritual thing. If we caught any 90 years old lady, he told us, why you caught me? Because see, this lady, I am a gents. This is the problem. And so many NGO distributing the food in that mela. And the people coming from different state of the India, they are not taking the food from that NGO because they believe if they take food from that NGO, that everything is gone. This is a scenario of our India. We are not insulting. I am also Indian. This is the educational part. You have to increase this. That another picture we have great to say, you sir, that we have a satellite communication we have established. We know, everybody we know, we have the radio communication where disaster appear. We have the satellite phone, but we are facing some problem using the satellite phone. We are observed that there are so many government officials using that sat phone. But when you have need to use this sat phone, you have to search your tower fast. You have dismantle your sat phone and search your tower. And when cyclone is going on, you have to move outside because your tower is not catch inside of your room. You have to move in here and there. After that, heavy rain is going on or heavy cloud, your sat phone is not working. We have told one thing in Bengali language. তোমার মোবাইল খেলনা হবে বিপর্যয় এলে আমরা কথা চালিয়ে যাব हैम হয়েছি बोले। तो हम लोग सोचा था कि मोबाइल फोन तो टॉय होता है तो सेट फोन भी टॉय होता है। लास्ट अम्फान साइक्लोन में हम खुद ही देखा है, ऑर्गेनाइज जो आई है ऑफिशियल है, वो लोग को पास देखा है, वो लोग बाहर नहीं जा पा रहा है कि इतना जोर से विंड हो रहा है तो टावर नहीं मिल रहा है। तो हम लोग हैम रेडियो कम्युनिटी वर्ल्ड में, हम लोग अकेला नहीं, वर्ल्ड में जितना हैम रेडियो कम्युनिटी है सभी ने इसको सोचा है हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस। आफ्टर दैट एस्टैब्लिश्ड one satellite, Qatar Oscar 100 is geostationary satellite. We are using this satellite round the clock through our radio. We are using our, this is our radio. We are just talking from this radio using this satellite. And last few days ago, we are experiment that communication in coastal part of India, in Fraserganj. We are installed one satellite communication. You just looking in a roof, we are installed one temporary satellite dish and establish communication more than 200 countries in a world. From there are getting a special call sign from India that we are going to DX. DX is the distance unknown station. Amateur radio operator are very much looking for any DX station, unknown station. This is why we are getting permission from Government of India, Ministry of Communication, special call sign. And when we announce that we are moving to a coastal part of India, and so many stations are connecting with us, we are just locked down and taking the report. You can't imagine, all signal are excellent. 5 and we are telling our technical language, 5 and 9 lasting signal. You can't imagine we are talking in a satellite, just a VHF. So many government officials, they told us not to tell their name in anywhere. They came here because the COVID situation, they observed that. They are spellbound. They what? I am requesting Manoj Kumar Bindal sir, or so many dignitaries, Surya Prakash sir, please sir, you are request you install this type of satellite communication station in everywhere of India, every district in India. If you install, there is a major communication support you get at the time of disaster management, because all amateur radio organization, all ham radio people are not financially not able to install this satellite communication, sir. We are ready to support. We are giving to radio our life to save another life. We are ready, sir. But you have to give some support, sir. We need, we hope, we get some support. We are getting so many support from your end. You are organizing a brilliant seminar. We are never believe that our beloved organization, NDMA, NIDM will organize this type of seminar. We are really proud, sir. We are getting so many things from you, sir. Because if you train us, we will serve for the people in field, sir. We are assured. Next slide, sir, please. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Raju Thapaji and Manoj Kumar Bindal, sir, Professor Surya Prakash, sir, give me this type of opportunity. I'm very much happy to share with my real experience in field. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation and giving us the real from your last 30 to 40 years. I know this 20 minutes is not enough to share all your experience, but you have very nicely gisted your work in such a short period of time, sir. Sir, before we let you go, sir, there are a few questions that I would like to put upon, sir. Few participants they have asked.
Well,
one question is, sir, very general, and it will help various attendees also. The question is, how can we give the exam of ham radio, and what is this material to prepare the exam to get the license so we can help in disaster situation?
Okay, sir. Very excellent. Nice question. Sir, for your kind information, we have an organization, Indian Academy of Communication and Disaster Management is the licensed organization of Government of India, Ministry of Communication. we are trained in COVID situation in online training, 3 months training every Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. Online training is going on. After 3 months, we are taking a mock examination. After that, we told that participant how to the Government of India examination. They appear and they appear. We're proud to say that our success is very fine. Our more than 99% student is success in appear. After that, they're getting license. We are trained so many disaster field work, just like when they are training. We are just move that team to the Gangasagar Mela and another mock deal with the student, because they have to learn how to fight disaster.
And one more question, sir. Like, since you are working on the field, so what are some of the challenges that you face? Because it is not very common in India, though India is such a versatile country with so many cultures, so many languages, but still it has not received the platform it should have received. So the question is what are some of the challenges that need to be tackled to bring this ham radio to a mainstream media type?
Yes, sir. Before, when we are work at the disaster platform, our government ham radio is not for the any disaster situation to fight any the disaster situation. Ham radio is the hobby, global hobby. When we are start in the field of disaster management, so many organizations, I am very proud to say you that that Government of India get maximum bhatia against me, because I am the person who are work in the disaster field. I am told at that time everyone in every media, but I have this technology. Why I not use this technology for the betterment of the people? If I am not use this technology for the man, I have to throw this to the drain. This is my challenge. After that, everyone appreciate my job, and that the now time this is so many organization is coming, and challenge is that there is different type of language in India and all over the world. We have to overcome that language. We have to train. When we have 1 year experience, that time we are getting so many problem. After that, till date we are getting so many problem in language problem and situational problem. That's why I'm sharing with you. We are the radio expert. We are not able to caught the snake at the time of Amphan, last Amphan cyclone. We are get a information that one big snake inside that Sundarban area is inside of a shelter. What to do? We are not expert to take the snake, because we are also trained the people how to caught the snake. We are immediately moved at that place. We are informed to the NDMA at the video. We are caught that snake and released in at the coastal part of Gangasagar area, Sancho Vishpargana. This is the real situation, sir. When you have to solve all problem, the problem is coming to you. You have to solve. And this is the situation. And this COVID situation, we have never worked in this COVID situation. And we have just worked to disaster in COVID situation. No one get me our trained how to work in the COVID situation, how to tackle the disaster in COVID situation. You have to implement your brain also. That's it.
Thank you, sir. And last question, sir. Are there any new technology coming for the new generation to easily learn and get knowledge about ham? Some new technology or some new source to learn about ham, or the new technology that are coming up in ham radio?
Sir, new technology always, ham radio is naya technology is coming. Oh, everyone is researching new things, that satellite communication, digital communication, and when at the time of disaster we may able to send the email from the radio, voice, picture, etc. This is developed now. Picture developing is video. Satellite through satellite communication, video picture is loading, moving from one place to another place. Now picture and audio is going, video also going. They are always trying to develop some betterment of this field. This is the situation. Now, our government of India, Ministry of Communication, we are grateful to our Ankarnath Jadhav sir, Assistant Wireless Advisor, is very much grateful. He is very helpful to all amateur radio operator. If anyone want to join in ham radio and work using excellent using this excellent hobby in disaster, you come back, because we have a facing one problem also in field. At the time of disaster, so many organizations working. I am not telling about the government authority organizations. So many NGO are working. I'm telling about one Chennai flood. There's so many organizations reach there with medicine. Just I'm telling you one thing, medicine. When they are reached at that place, the one common medicine is carried by everyone. But which medicine is required, no one carried. This is the real problem, because they have no intercommunication. And we have the another communication. We are interfacing the radio with the Android phone is the call equaling. At the time of Chennai flood, I am in my office. So many people call us, help us. Our family is not found at Chennai. Their connectivity is not available. But my office is not allow us to install one radio station inside of the office. I have the Android phone. I am immediately connected with the Ecolink software and connected with the Chennai friend, and they are working with the just a walkie. And we have installed so many repeater. We are just showing you. This is the simply repeater. We are using 2 radio station with the interface and install the radio station in the disaster place. And we have just so many solar panel system. We are charge our battery. This is the lithium battery. We are just carried very light battery. We are carried. This battery support us 3-4 days. One battery we have charged 3-4 days support, and we are just use this handheld set. Just have give you one demo. View 3 JX, View 2 Juliet Fox Alpha.
Juliet Fox Alpha. This is View 3 Juliet X Foxtrot. Go ahead, please.
View 3 Juliet X Foxtrot, View 2 Juliet Fox Alpha. Where is your location? My location is Calcutta 71000, West Bengal Radio Club. What's your morning your QTH, please? View 3 JX, View 2 Juliet Fox Alpha.
Roger, my location is Chuchura, near Chandanagar town, in Hooghly district. QSL.
Okay, Raja, standing by. Just give you one demonstration, because this handle state you can communicate 8 to 10 kilometers. But now I am talk near about 30 kilometer distance using this repeater. At the time of disaster, we just install this repeater and we are using this handheld set. Why? This is the power is the main factor. At that time, disaster time, radio battery is saved is the one thing. This is why we are using this one base, and everybody using this radio. And where the internet is available in one disaster, just like I say, Ida, when cyclone hit one area, it is not that everything, all communication over the state is collapsed. No, not at all. Some area is affected, some area is electricity available, some area internet available. We have just carried our radio signal at the internet, where internet is available. And from there, we are input that radio signal through internet. And when internet is accessible, our radio signal, we are just use one app called Ecolink. And from Ecolink, I am calling my Chennai friend. They are using this radio, and they are talking in this radio. I am getting for my morning QTH, my office. I am speaking in my Android phone, and they are speaking from a boat in water. This is the real situation, sir. There's amateur radio communication established everywhere in world. We welcome all of you. Please join in this excellent hobby. And moreover, your next generation who are going through the social networking garbage, you keep something for them, for the young generation. Do something for the nation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. We were very fortunate to have you with us, sir, and sharing your experience. And we hope we will see you, you will join us in our future programs also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And there is a few more questions that have been. One question raised by Veera Mani. She has asked the question about the role of NIDM actually. So, role of NIDM in various aspects. So, just to clarify, I would like to inform that the institute has achieved the status of a statutory organization under the National Disaster Management Act 2005. In the section 42A, 8, if you refer, of the Act has made the institute responsible for planning and promoting training and research in the area of disaster management, and also carry out documentation and development of national level information base relating to disaster management policies, prevention, like mechanism and mitigation measures. And if you go through the NDMA Act 2005 under section 42(9) of the Act, we have been assigned the role to develop training module and to formulate and implement a comprehensive human resource development plans and provide assistance in national level policy formulation, and giving trainings to various government officials, state government official, district level officials, and do the documentation and all. Beside that, we have NDMA, who is working for the plan and policies. We have NDRF, who is the response force of the under the DDM Act. So I hope this clarify your query. And with that, we have come to almost the end of the today's presentation and webinar. And I let me just check if Surya sir can say a few words in the valedictory session. Surya sir, are you there? I think he must be traveling. So without further delay, so let me in the concluding session, it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks, and I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal, Executive Director NIDM, and Srimati KHL Rita, Director Relief and Disaster Management, Government of Manipur, for their encouragement and support to coordinate this webinar. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to our speakers, Professor D.C. Rai, Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Kanpur, and Mr. Ambrish Nag Biswas, Secretary, West Bengal Radio Club and Chairman, Indian Academy of Commerce and Disaster Management, for their presence to enlighten our participant and share their vast knowledge and experience in their own respective field. I also express my deep sense of appreciation to Professor Surya Prakash, Head GMR Division NIDM, who is also the chair of this training program, webinar, for his motivation and enthusiasm. Last but not the least, I'm very thankful to GMRD team, Mr. Anil Kathek, Mr. Dr. Harjeet Kaur, who are the co-coordinators of this webinar, and also our Sovit Balaji and Sovit Balaji, who were there as our IT team for making this event successful. And on behalf of NIDM and Manipur SDMA, I wish all the participants to stay safe and healthy. And regarding the webinar, we have shared the feedback link in the chat box. You can go in the chat box and fill the feedback link. We will also share the feedback link in through your email and other media also. For those who have missed the feedback link, you can check that one also. With these words, I would like to end this meeting. Thank you everybody for joining us in today's webinar. Thank you very much.